I don't know where to start, but if you're here, it means maybe you felt this kind of pain too. The kind that comes from the person you trusted most walking away. This is the story of how my husband left me, just hours after I gave birth, and how what I discovered next shattered me more than his goodbye ever could. I remember the moment she arrived. Our daughter. 10 little fingers, a full head of hair. I was exhausted, but overflowing with love. He was holding her, smiling, but something in his eyes felt distant. At the time, I blamed it on stress. Maybe he was just overwhelmed like me. We had waited so long for this. 9 months of doctor's appointments, planning the nursery, debating names. But that smile, it didn't feel like joy. It felt like relief. Like something was over. I didn't understand it then, but I would. The nurses rolled me back into our hospital room. He said he was going to grab coffee. "I'll be right back," he said. That was the last time I saw him. An hour passed, then 2. I texted him, "Everything okay?" No reply. At 11:17 p.m., I got a message. "I'm sorry. You'll be fine without me." That was it. No explanation. No goodbye. Just a message that knocked a breath out of my body. I thought it was a mistake, a joke, a breakdown. I called and called, straight to voicemail. Blocked. I asked the nurses if he'd said anything, just that he looked tired. I told myself he'd come back. He had to. We just had a baby. Our baby. But he didn't. He didn't come the next morning, or the next day. My sister came to pick me up. I sat in the passenger seat, clutching a car seat like it was all I had left. And maybe it was. I went home to our apartment. His things were gone. His clothes, his laptop. Even the coffee mug with his initials. Gone. No note, no explanation. Just silence. His parents said they didn't know anything, but I could hear it in their tone. They were lying. Something was off, and everyone seemed to know it except me. The baby cried through the night, and I cried with her, because not only did I feel abandoned, I felt foolish. How did I not see this coming? 2 weeks later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. "Hi, is this Anna?" "Yes. I think we need to talk. I'm Michael's girlfriend." I felt my heart fall into my stomach. "What? I didn't know you just had a baby. He told me you two were separated months ago." I couldn't speak. She kept going. "We've been together for almost a year. I only found out about you today." I hung up the phone. I ran to the bathroom and vomited. She reached out again the next day, sent me screenshots, photos, messages. They had been on vacation. She had met his parents. She was 4 months pregnant. He left me in that hospital because he had a new life waiting for him, one where I didn't exist. He didn't just walk away from me. He walked away from us. I couldn't believe it. I kept looking through our old texts, our photos. There was no sign, no warning. We were picking crib colors one week, and the next he was gone. He had played the role perfectly, the loving husband, the excited dad-to-be. But it was all fake, a performance, and I never even saw it. I started wondering if I had imagined everything. Was it ever real? Did he ever love me? Or was I just a placeholder, until he could be free? I wanted to scream, throw something, but all I could do was cry. Because while he moved on, I was stuck cleaning up the pieces. The worst part? He told her I was the problem, that I had trapped him, that I had gotten pregnant on purpose. He made me the villain. He erased the love we built, the home we made, the future we planned. He rewrote our story, with him as the victim. And I couldn't defend myself, because I was just gone to him. Even our friends began to question me. They didn't say it out loud, but I saw it in their eyes. "Did you see the signs? Why didn't you leave first?" As if being abandoned was my fault, as if I had asked for this. I stayed quiet. I didn't post about it, didn't rant online. I didn't want sympathy. I wanted truth. I wanted him to face what he did. But cowards don't face the mess they leave. They run, and they lie, and they hide behind new stories, ones where they're always the hero. I watched as he built a new life on social media, pictures with her, captions like "new beginnings," while I was battling postpartum depression, alone. while I was up at 3 a.m., rocking a crying baby with shaking hands, while I was wondering if I'd ever feel whole again. But little by little, something changed. Not because he came back, not because I got an apology, but because I looked at my daughter and saw hope. She didn't know the chaos, the lies, the betrayal. To her, I was safety, I was home. And that gave me strength I didn't know I had. There were days I couldn't get out of bed. Days where even brushing my hair felt like a victory. But I kept going. Because she needed me. And because deep down, I needed me too. Not the version of me that begged for love, but the version who survived it all. I started journaling. At first, it was just angry scribbles, questions without answers. But eventually, it became something else. A way to process, to heal, to understand that closure isn't something he could give me. I had to find it myself. I started taking walks with my daughter every morning, just us and the stroller and the wind. And sometimes I'd cry behind my sunglasses. But sometimes I smiled, because for the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about him. I was thinking about us. I found a therapist. The first session, I barely spoke. Just sat there and cried. But she waited. And little by little, I opened up. I told her everything. The lies, the text, the phone call. And she didn't judge me. She didn't blame me. She reminded me of something I had forgotten. Being left doesn't mean I'm unlovable. It just means I was brave enough to stay when someone else wasn't. That line stayed with me. I wrote it on a sticky note and put it on my bathroom mirror. I was brave enough to stay. And every morning, when the tiredness felt like too much, I looked at it. And I kept going. Friends started coming back around. Some apologized, some stayed distant. I didn't blame them. Not everyone knows how to handle heartbreak that deep. But the ones who showed up, they reminded me that I wasn't alone. My sister became my rock. She moved in for a while, helped with the baby, made me laugh when all I wanted to do was scream. We talked late into the night, about love, about betrayal, about starting over. And somewhere in all of that pain, I started to feel like myself again. Not the version of me he wanted. Not the quiet, agreeable, supportive wife, but me, the real me, the me who loved fiercely, who gave everything, and who deserved so much more than a man who couldn't even say goodbye in person. I didn't forgive him, not then, maybe not ever, but I did let go. Not for him, for me. Because holding on to the pain started to feel heavier than the betrayal itself. And I was tired of carrying what he left behind. I started focusing on what I could control. My healing, my daughter, my peace. Every bottle I warmed, every lullaby I hummed, every little giggle from her lips. Those were my victories. I stopped stalking his social media. Stopped checking if he posted. Stopped waiting for a message that would never come. Because I realized, even if he came back, there was nothing here for him anymore. I had rebuilt from ashes. Not into who I was before, but someone wiser, someone stronger, someone softer in all the right places, and tougher where it counted. There was one night I'll never forget. My daughter had just fallen asleep. The apartment was quiet. And I sat on the floor, lights off, thinking about everything. I picked up my phone, scrolled through old photos. There was one of the three of us in the hospital the day she was born. He had his arm around me. We both looked so happy. But I realized something. That photo wasn't real anymore. It was a ghost, a reminder of a life that didn't exist. So I deleted it. Not out of anger, but peace. Because I no longer needed proof of what we had. I had already lived it and survived what came after. A few weeks later, I saw him, by accident. He was at the grocery store with her, the other woman, and their new baby. He saw me. I saw the guilt in his eyes, but I didn't stop. I didn't flinch. I walked right past him, head high, because I owed him nothing. He made his choice, and I had made mine, to move on, to be better, to give our daughter a mother who didn't live in the past. That night, after seeing him, I sat beside my daughter's crib and just watched her sleep. her little chest rising and falling, her fingers twitching like she was dreaming, and I whispered to her, "He left, but I stayed, and I will always stay." Because that's the truth. He ran, but I remained. Through the sleepless nights, through the breakdowns, through the loneliness and the fear, I stayed. And I became something powerful because of it. I became her protector, her provider, her home. If you've ever been abandoned, blindsided, broken, I want you to hear this. It's not your fault. You didn't deserve it, and you are not alone. They may walk away, but you will rise, because you are stronger than the pain. You are the one who stayed, who fought, who rebuilt. And trust me, that makes you powerful beyond words. So thank you for listening, for feeling this with me. If this story touched something in you, please like, share, and subscribe. Not for me, but for every person who thinks they're alone in this kind of pain. You're not. You're never alone. And to the one who left, thank you for making room in my life for something real, for showing me exactly what I never want again, and for giving me the chance to become everything you never were. Because in the end, you left a space, and I filled it with love, with truth, with strength, and with the one thing you'll never understand: unbreakable grace.